could Ferris Bueller's Day Off, a teen comedy from the mind of writer-director John Hughes, possibly tie in with German soldiers from World War II? Keep watching, and you'll find out. Let's start off with one of the movie's main characters. It had no speaking lines, but in my head, I'd call the replica of a 1961 Ferrari 250 GT California, well, I'd call that one of the film's stars. In an earlier episode, I talked about the movie car and my search to find one in 1/43rd scale to use with my O-gauge Lionel trains. Well, I finally found one made by the Portuguese company known as Vitesse. The price was pretty reasonable, but something, or someone, was missing. Before you can save Ferris, you first need to find him. As far as I know, there are no figures of Matthew Broderick's character available in 1/43rd scale. So, I'll have to make my own. These figures are not very detailed, but they are cheap. Mine came from Amazon, and because they are roughly 16 cents a piece, I have no trouble cutting up 2 or 3 to end up with just one. Out of the 60 figures from Amazon, there are quite a few duplicates and even triplicates. So maybe there's 15 or 20 unique poses, with only 7 or 8 male figures standing alone. I'll do my best to recreate the pose when Ferris is dressed up in a suit next to the Ferrari. Someone else donated their right hand, and with a little more sanding, it looks pretty good. And after a light application of gray primer, it's ready for paint. Now, granted, A 3D printer would have made this whole process a lot easier, but I don't have one, and I'm not sure I can justify the purchase, so for now, this is just fine. Some people do incredible work with the painting of scale figures. It's not really my thing, though. Everything is so small, and if you want it to look really sharp, then you have to be good with the details. These are cheap figures from China, whose molds were either made by copying other figures or the molds themselves were worn out. So there's not even much detail to pick out. My goal is usually to have something that looks pretty good from a few feet away, as the casual observer may view my layout. If you're watching this video on a bigger TV, then these figures will look pretty crude. But a lot of the time, it's also about the same level of quality that you'd get from something that's manufactured on a larger scale. The soldiers have had a few modifications to change their civilian clothing to something with a more military flair. Pants below the knees were reshaped to resemble boots. A few hikers donated their heads because I liked the caps. And I also used small thin pieces of sheet styrene to make the shoulder boards and even a holster on a belt. It's not common knowledge, but Ferris Bueller is also a big fan of World War II. On weekends, he would frequently join others and reenact major battles from the Second World War. Naturally, that's what's going on here. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and until next time, this has been Bob's Workshop. Take care.